All right, I'm going to start our call today with our devotional, and today's is called No More Excuses. And I feel like it really fits with life in general, your relationship with God, and your business. So it says most people struggling to overcome their fears have had an encounter with disappointment so great that every dream they can conceive is contaminated with toxic anxiety of failure. When your mind becomes cluttered with the possibility of what if, there's no room for faith. Living life prepared for the worst possible outcome is like living in a cage. It's not freedom. Over time, you'll recognize the difference between guarding your heart and restricting it. You'll learn to stop talking yourself out of the good things God has promised to all who live in accordance to his purpose. You, my survivor friend, will not settle for a life dictated by insecurities or previous experiences. You have access to power that is capable of working within you to free you from any mental and emotional bondage that has convinced you a better life is not within your grasp. We cannot tap into the power that hangs on to excuses at the same time. Your heart, mind, and hands must be free to lay hold of all that is ahead of you. Shedding excuses is a discipline that must be practiced with our thoughts, communication, and actions. There is only room for language that declares, I will. Growth occurs when we confront our personal experiences and how they've changed us. You can create a new pattern and move forward with determination like never before, but you must learn what stopped you in the past. If the challenge to heal and become whole has been issued by people other than yourself, then your journey will always require permission before progression. Don't allow your destiny to be determined by democracy. Your immediate circle may not know how to coach you through your heartbreak, or even worse, they may need the company of your misery to distract them from their own need for healing. Avoid the temptation to make your healing contingent on approval and a validation from other people. The bridge from who you once were to who God has ordained you to be is created from bricks of vulnerability, humility, as strong as mortar, and a master plan so perfect, even the things that once hurt you will serve in making you better. Your willingness to let go of these excuses and vow to move forward just laid the first brick, but there's still work to be done. In Psalms 40 says, I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of my slimy pit, out of the mud and mire, and set my feet on rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see the fear of the Lord and put in him. Like I said, I feel like it just really fits with relationship with God, life, and our business. And I really liked how it said, know the difference between guarding your heart and restricting it. Kara has talked about before in trainings about when your brain is uncomfortable with something, it's going to give you every excuse of why you don't have to do that and just shut down, because we want to be comfortable. We want to do with what we know. And you're going to tell yourself that I can just quit. What I have is good enough. I don't need to move forward. But pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, you will learn more and you will grow. And God's plan for us is not always going to be easy. I know a lot of times we want to say, well, if it's meant to be, then it'll all work out. And that's not always the case. If you are walking in the path, a lot of times Satan is going to come up and try to destroy everything in that path because he does not want the best for you. But as long as you push through and you don't let the excuses, the plan that God has for you and the walk that God has for you is going to be incredible. Like it said on there, that his plan for you is so perfect. So don't settle for a life dictated by insecurities or past experiences. Let me go back to this one part quick. When it said, don't allow your destiny to be determined by democracy. Your immediate circle may not know how to coach through, or even worse, they may want the company of your misery to distract them from their own healing. Avoid the temptation to make your healing contingent and approval on validation from other people. And I feel like a lot of time when people start this business, they hesitate, or they don't want to post on their Facebook page, or they don't want to do things because they're afraid of what other people will think. And if anybody at any time is talking you down about this business or about what you're doing, most likely it's because that they feel that they could never do something like that and they don't want to see you successful at it. But if you're willing to push through and do it, and we have a community that is excited for you to do it and that supports you through it all, it's worth it so much more. You have the power to make a better life, but you can't hang on to the excuses at the same time. You can't want to rank up. You can't want to be an emerald, but then constantly give yourself all the excuses of every day of why you don't have time to show up and do what you need to do. Shedding excuses is a discipline that must be practiced, and mindset also must be practiced. It's not just going to come natural. You have to get in the habit of changing your mindset and not having excuses. But what's wrong, buddy? Okay, you're okay. Come here. Come here. Just like doing the self-development books daily and stuff. Okay. I know whenever I first became a teacher, and when I first became a teacher, I started at a new school, and there was a group of teachers there that they were veteran teachers, and they were kind of just, things are going to be their way. And they weren't very nice. And I remember one time sitting in a meeting and one of those teachers kind of bragging about something hateful she had said to somebody. And she said, well, that's just the way I am. Okay. If you don't like it, then it's just me. And I remember thinking, we are adults. That's not who we are. If we have an area that we can do better, to be kind and stuff, then we fix that and then we change it. It's not who we are. So it's the same things with excuses and mindset. It's not who we are. You can become who God has ordained you to be, and whatever plan he has for you is so perfect. You don't have to have it all together. I don't know if you've seen that I made a post the other day, and a part that I really liked, it says, God found Moses in his desert, God found Jeremiah in his pit, God found Joseph in his prison, and God found Job in his tragedies, and God can find you. And I feel like it doesn't matter where you are at in life and what you're doing, either in your walk in faith, in your business, in your life. A lot of times we think we have to have it all together before we can serve God, before we can start working our Plexus business. We have to do it all, and that's not true at all. That no matter where you at, you can start walking your path that God has for you every single day, and you will be blessed by it. Sorry for the interruptions.
One thing that stuck out to me was just the thing that you talked about, whenever people think that, like, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen, and like Satan always has a plan to destroy it. And he's actually passed away now, but there was this preacher that I used to follow, his name was John Paul Jackson, and he would always talk about that the enemy's constantly trying to bring about distractions and prevent you from your destination. And he had said that anytime he is doing something and he gets there to accomplish whatever it is, and he had no setbacks, no distractions, he goes, then I go into prayer and I say, well, am I really in the will of God? Like, if Satan's not trying to stop me from getting here, like, why was it so easy to get to that place? So it's always just a good reminder that we have a God that loves us and wants us to prosper and wants to bless us and has amazing things planned for our life. But we also have a very real enemy that is constantly also out to get us. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about the Success is a Choice book again, and going into how to develop greater initiative. We talked a lot last week about our initiative, like what prevents us from having it and what we need to have it and things like that. And this is like exactly how to develop it. So I feel like so much of this goes in alignment with what Amanda was talking about today. And I just like when things line up that way. I think it's fun. But number one, if you guys want to take notes and write a lot of this out, I felt like there was a lot of good nuggets and a lot of self-development that we can do here, and things that we can work out to maybe figure out what's preventing us from taking initiative, what's preventing us from taking the next steps, or what's possibly preventing us from being successful in this business. But number one is accepting responsibility. I'm going to read the little his little intro. It says, to be honest, all of us are plagued by procrastination in some area of our lives. If something is unpleasant, uninteresting, or complex, we tend to put it off. Even when things we like doing can cause difficulty. John Wolfgang observed, to put your ideas into action, it is the most difficult thing in the world. Yet to reach our potential and become successful, we must show initiative. Here are some suggestions to help you in this area. And then number 1 is accept responsibility for your life. To move the world, we must first move ourselves. Show me those who neglect to take responsibility for their own lives, and I'll show you people who also lack initiative. Responsibility and initiative are inseparable. One thing that we share about is being your own rock star, being your own leader, like understanding that your team is looking to you. Your team's not looking to me. There's a good chance that a lot of your teams have no idea who in the world I am, or Amanda is, or Lori, or Bailey. They're looking to you because you're the one that introduced them to Plexus. You're the one that showed them the vision of the opportunity, how these products can help them. So instead of I hear a lot of times people will be like, I just wish I could sign up a rock star. Someone need to take me to the top. But in reality, we need to always take responsibility for our business and choose to be our own rock star, to be the leader that we want to follow, to be the person that we want other people to look up to. In our Jules page, somebody shared a story the other day, and they said that during the month of June, their team did not sign up very many people at all. She said they signed like 10 people in the month of June. And she said in July, she decided that she was going to take it into her own hands, and she was going to just start recruiting and working really hard and signing up as many people as she could, sharing this with as many people as possible. She said the very first week of July, she signed up 10 people, and her team as a whole signed up 11 people. So at first she kind of thought, okay, I'm a one-man show though, like, let's keep going. But her team saw her, and her team started seeing what she was doing and caught that vision. And by the end of the month, her team as a whole signed up 121 people. And it all started with her deciding to take responsibility and to get into action and show her team that it was possible to start doing that. In return, they all followed. And I just thought that was a great example of one of the things that we've talked about. And I see the same thing in my team. And we talked about that. Whenever we're working harder, things tend to accelerate faster. And whenever we take a back seat, things tend to take a back seat. And that's just because your team is following their leader. Number 2 is examine your reasons for not initiating. Going to read a little bit here, and then I got my own notes. It says, if you lack initiative, the only way you'll be able to change it is to first identify the specific problem. Think about the reasons people lack initiative already outlined in this chapter. Are you in denial about the consequences of taking initiative and responsibility for yourself? Are you waiting for others to motivate you instead of working to motivate yourself? Are you waiting for everything to be perfect before you act? Are you fantasizing about tomorrow instead of focusing on what you can do today? Or is there some other issue that is preventing you from completing the task? So first, he talks about getting in here and eliminating excuses. And Amanda talked a little bit about excuses too. A lot of times we come up with all of these excuses on why we can't get things done. So figuring out what that is, and then turning your attention to the reasons on what's causing you to lack initiative, and then choosing to overcome those. So this might be something that is taking a little bit of work. You might have to sit down and write things out. Well, what's preventing me from doing the steps? What's preventing me from being successful? Is it just excuses? Am I just creating all of these reasons why I can't because I don't want to put in the time? Or is there a different problem that I'm having trouble overcoming? Some people do not feel like they are worthy of success. Some people have a really terrible mindset about money. And I know that's something I personally had to get rid of, because in the Bible, it talks about that you can't serve good and evil. You can't serve both money and man. So a lot of times there's these sermons in there that Christians need to be basic, that they need to be poor. They don't need to be serving money. But also, if all of the Christians don't have any money, who are they going to bless? Who is going to continue to expand the kingdom of God? I feel like God blesses people that he can trust. So in turn, they can expand that, and they can reach out, they can grow his kingdom. So figuring out, that's a mindset that I struggled with in the beginning. And Also like self-sabotaging your business. I know earlier in my business, I would get in a good rhythm of things and things would be going really good. And I would literally just shut down and stop. And I would be self-sabotaging because I didn't think that I was worthy of success. I didn't think people like me could actually make this happen. I didn't think that I was deserving of having the life that I dreamt of or the money that I wanted. And it's mental mind junk that we have to figure out and work out. And a lot of times that's you journaling, you putting pen to paper, you identifying your problems and figuring out affirmations to work against those and finding the promises of in the Bible, what God says about you, what he wants to bless you with and things like that. So it's not as simple as just flipping a switch, but like I said, sometimes take it to pen and paper, figure it out. Number 3 is focus on the benefits of completing the task. Plain and simple, it talks about procrastinating and stop doing it. Stop putting it off, just do the things. It says to get yourself over the hump, focus on what you'll get out of it when you get it done. Will completing the task bring a financial benefit? Will it clear the way for something else you would like to do? Does it represent a milestone in the development of your completion of or something bigger? At the very least, does it help you clear the decks for you emotionally? If you seek the positive reasons, you're more likely to get it done. So seeking what this task can is going to benefit in the long run. And if you procrastinate, I'm making sure I'm not getting ahead of myself on something, and I think I am before I say all that. Yeah, that's number 6. So I'm going to save that for number 6, and we're just going to move on to number 4. But stop procrastinating, figure out the benefit. Number 4 is share your goal with a friend who will help you, or friends that will help you. So in this business, it's so obvious this is not a one-man show. There's no reason, or there's no way that I would be where I'm at today if I was doing this by myself. I have shared my goals with you guys. I've shared my goals with my closest team, my closest friends, my family. And whenever like push would come to shove, doing that, like is reaching emerald, reaching sapphire, reaching diamond. I had this incredible team that I was able to go to and say, hey, we're reaching this goal as a team. And you guys would rally around and push and help make those goals happen and help make those goals a reality. And I've seen that happen all across our board, all levels. It's not a one-man show. So being open about what you're wanting to do, that's one of the reasons that I'll ask you guys in chats a lot of the times, like, what are your goals for the month? What are you wanting to do this month? Like just sharing it and putting it out there. And then you have the support system and not feeling like you are having to be a one-man show. Whenever I was going for Diamond, it was so helpful having people in my corner. We had a whole group of people over at my mom's house, just working together. And there was definitely a moment that I was like giving myself a pity party. Like, I just don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this goal is going to be achievable. And they were so quick to help lift my spirits and encourage me to keep pushing and motivate me and tell me that this is absolutely going to happen and just restore my faith in it. So if you're sharing it with people that care about you, people that love you, and people that support you, then they're going to be there to pick you up in the moments that you're finding discouragement in your business. And that's normal. But link arms with those people. Number 5 is break large tasks into smaller ones. This is something, again, that we talk about a lot on a regular basis. Whenever we were sharing goals in our team chats yesterday, people were saying, I want to hit gold, I want to hit emerald, I want to get, see whatever your rank was. And we were talking about how to break that down into smaller tasks. One of the examples we used is one of the girls said that she was wanting to reach 300 points by the end of the month. So we figured that out. Well, what do we need to get 300 points? So we need 70 points a week, which means we need 10 points a day, which means we need to share Plexus and get 2 people to either order or reorder 2 people a day in order to reach this 300 mark goal. So instead of just saying, I want to get 300 points, whenever we're breaking that down into bite-sized pieces, it becomes super attainable. And then you can even go smaller than that. Okay, I need to get 2 people a day. What do I need to be doing? What steps do I need to be doing every single day to get these 2 people? How many people do I need to reach out to? Where do I need to be posting? What are my follow-ups going to look like? But whenever you have a plan of action and you break it down, it makes the big goal seem way less overwhelming than these bite-sized pieces. And then as you're getting these bite-sized pieces and you're knocking them out and you have these wins, it's just going to continue to encourage you and restore your faith and just think, okay, I can do this. I can keep going. Instead of just throwing a goal out there and then like wishing it into existence, we have to do the actions to make it happen. Number 6 is allocate specific times to tasks you might procrastinate. And this is whenever, okay, I'll just read a little bit first. It says the greatest time wasted is the time getting started. Haven't you found that to be true? And just talks about the hardest thing is getting started. So thinking about things in your business that you don't want to face, things that you are wanting to procrastinate. For one, you're figuring out the benefit of completing the task, like we talked about a couple steps back. But also, like for me, like confrontation is not something that I enjoy a lot. So if I get messages in of people having maybe trouble or not, like they're not getting results that they want, or maybe didn't like their subscription going out, or confrontation tasks like are not things that I like to deal with. But in order to be a good leader, in order to be a good business person, then it's things that you have to deal with. So if I just sit down and take a time every single day, then I knock these things out. And a lot of times taking the time to knock these things out, I can get to the root issues with these people. I can figure out exactly what it is, maybe why they're not wanting to continue the products. What is it that they're wanting their subscription turned off for? And then we can talk that out and see if we can figure out something better for them, or the real reason behind it, and find a solution in that aspect. Or if they're having issues with their products, well, what are we missing? Are we taking consistently, and things like that? But even though it's something that's hard for me to do, sometimes I don't necessarily enjoy it. I don't completely procrastinate it and refuse to do it, because that's not good customer care. So I sit down, you just schedule a little block of time and you say, okay, from 2 to 3, 2 to 2:30, I'm going to troubleshoot problems with people. And you just go through and create it like an appointment is one of the things that he talks about in here. So if you have it on your calendar from 2 to 3 on Mondays, I'm going to troubleshoot with all of my customers. You make sure that you show up for that. And then you go and you do the things. And number 7 is remember preparation includes doing. I'm going to read a good section here, a little bit here, but he talks about whenever his first book, this is John Maxwell, who's wrote a lot of books, but he talks about the first book that he ever wrote and just getting started and scribbling things on notepads and stuff. But he would just do something to get it down. And then he talks about some of his leaders, and he says, one of his leaders says, I want to sell a lot of books and influence a lot of people like you do. These young leaders will declare. That's great, I'll answer. What have you written? Well, nothing yet, is typically the response. Okay, I say, what are you working on? I ask the question, hoping to give some encouragement. Well, I'm not actually writing yet, but I have a lot of ideas, they'll say, explaining that they hope they'll have more time next month or next year or after they get out of school. When I hear an answer like that, I know it'll never happen. Writers write, composers compose, leader leads. You must take action in order to become who you desire. Start writing no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on. Desire is not enough. Good intentions are not enough. Talent is not enough. Success requires initiative. Michael E. Angier found the Success Net stated, ideas are worthless. Intentions have no power. Plans are nothing unless they're followed with action, and do it now. And that's the final thing, is just choosing to do it. Just get into action. A lot of times action is even if you don't feel like it, if you don't feel motivated, action is what's going to cause the motivation to come. Action's what's going to get ideas to start flowing. There's so many times in my business that I've not felt like doing, and I've had something scheduled and I've showed up anyways. And then all of these thoughts just start circling around in my head, and all of these ideas will just start coming. And then I'm excited to work, and I'm motivated to work, and I'm reaching out to people. And it all started just because I forced myself to sit down and show up and just start doing the things. A lot of people in Plexus are always getting ready to work using the excuses of when they're going to, but the first step is just doing. But that is his summary of how to develop greater initiative. And I'm going to pass it over to Bailey.
Okay, I just listened to someone yesterday and she said most of the time, if we don't achieve our goals, it's because we didn't actually put in the effort and we didn't create the habits that it took to create those goals. So she said, before you complain or get frustrated or get mad, you have to check your habits and check your work and your effort you're putting in to see if it's actually matching what your goals are. And said, if not, you need to change your habits and you need to change your effort, or you need to change your goals. But I was just going to go over today the promotions and the incentives they had going on this month. So they're doing 10% off if you get a welcome pack with the reset combo in it. And then Sam 2020 will work with that and with all of the others still. And then they're doing again, just like last month, if you sign, they're doing the 3. Nope. Hold on.
She disappear altogether. We'll give her just a second. If not, we'll close it out. I feel like I should have background music during this time.
Hey, Kara,
Oh.
would somebody be able to send the recording from last night sometime today?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just,
Yeah.
just whenever you have time. Missy jumped on, but then she had technical issues and she lost about 15 minutes of it. So I thought I'd send her the recording, just whenever you get time. No big rush.
I haven't got it uploaded yet, but I can do that. I'll do that.
I didn't know
after
if you
this
were
when I
going
upload
to,
this.
so yeah, that's okay. I wasn't sure if you planned on it. I said, let me check with her, just when you have time, sweetie.
Okay,
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Sorry.
you're good.
Can you hear me? I got a
She's
call. I meant to ignore it and I hit end, but it ended this one. Okay, so they're doing the 3 different levels. So you can sign up 3 people is one level. You can retain 6 is another level. And then you can have somebody rank up silver is the 3rd level. And you get bonuses for each well, if you unlock level 1, you get a bonus. 2 levels, you get a bigger bonus. 3 levels, you get the biggest bonus. I think it's 500 for the big one. And then what are the other ones?
250 for level 2. It's $100 for level 1. Then once you rank level 2, you get 250 total, and level 3, 500 total.
Okay. And then they just have the consistency bonus. So if you're senior ruby or below and you maintain your rank, then you're going to get a bonus for being consistent. But then if you rank up, you'll also get that bonus. But I think that's all they got this month.
We also have Immune Plus is our product of the month, which we'll break that down later this month. But if you have a subscription going out soon and you throw Immune Plus on there, you're going to get 50 additional perks as well. Or if you even just order it, a one-time order. So keep that in mind as well. But I think that's all we have for you guys today. This call was a little bit longer, but I hope you found value in it. And we will see you guys over on Facebook.
Thanks,
Bye,
girl.
guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.